Hey guys, it's Kyle Crawford with Crawford.com, here with Matt Liquori. Matt, it's always a pleasure.
Always is.
He's a men's bodybuilding competitor as well as a powerlifter. He's 20 years old from Rochester, New York, and he recently competed in 2 bodybuilding shows as well as a powerlifting competition. Here, Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you got into working out and coming to the gym, and why it all started.
Alright, so yeah, in high school I was, really athletic. I did wrestling and soccer were really my 2 main sports, and I always was active, year round. And once I started college at MCC, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I started with business, and then figured out I wanted to do exercise science after looking at like physical therapy, athletic training. So then I took it upon myself to start training, going to the gym. I remember I got the gym membership at Push, and after that, I just got kind of trying whatever I wanted for training, and I got into a groove that I liked, and then I started actually just following bodybuilding stuff right at that time too. And once I got to a certain point, I decided I wanted to take my physique to the next level by doing a competition, which is, pretty extreme. It's not for everyone, absolutely, and that's how it got going.
So, Matt, for the second question, when did you first decide you wanted to compete in your bodybuilding show, and what ultimately led up to the decision? How'd you know that was the right time?
So, like I just said, when I started working out at that gym, basically from then, and took about 2.5 years of just trying to lift, just trying to get bigger. I did a couple small cuts where I tried to lose weight, but pretty much the entire time I was trying to gain weight and gain muscle. And it got to a certain time after I started following all of the natural bodybuilding stuff and getting information about how the competitions work, I knew that I wanted to do one, and I had to look for one. And when I found the show that I ended up doing, it was about 15 weeks out, which is right where I wanted to start prepping at the time. So it really worked out. I'm not even going to really get into it now, but I could do things completely different the next time since I did it. And what I did was I kind of just threw myself in. A lot of people have coaches that do the entire nutrition, almost everything, and because I was going into the field and getting the degree, I'm calling myself a personal trainer now.
Yeah.
I wanted to do the entire prep by myself, and I just took it step by step.
So, Matt, through that whole process of 15 weeks or so, you went through your prep for your show. What was the most difficult part, and what helped you overcome the adversity of when things got tough?
Yeah, so I guess the hardest part would be the food, because I was tracking my macros and I made it work pretty fast, but just doing it constantly is probably the hardest part, because that's what's going to result in you changing your body composition. Training, you go in and you give it everything you have, and that's just behind nutrition and what was most important and difficult and being consistent with. And overcoming it, I think I only cheated off the entire macro. I only cheated twice before 6 weeks out. So I was really happy. Just getting through the hard parts. Every time you progress every week, when you're really cutting, you see the changes. And I think the self-motivation of just progression really just kept me going. And I knew that next week I was going to look different. Yeah. And I wanted to keep up with it, and I wanted to chase it, and I wanted to push it. So,
third question, what was the process like leading up to their first show with your training methods, your diet, and your meal prep?
So basically, I did everything the same, and as I got closer to the competition every week, I stepped up each aspect in its own regard a little bit each week. So for training methods, I started off just training once a day, and I did the same split the entire time, chest and tricep, back and bicep, shoulder, abs, and legs. And I did that, and I take a day off right after. So about 8 weeks in, 8 weeks left, I started doing cardio in the morning about 3 times a week. And every couple weeks, I added more time and more days to the cardio. And that's all there really was to it, because when you're trying to lose weight, you're just trying to maintain all your muscle and try to burn calories at the same time. So that's really how the training went. So diet, I basically did a carb cycle the entire time, all working at a deficit, and I made it tighter and tighter and cut calories as I went, and as I was happy with my weight loss, and I ended up right on weight, so I was happy with how that worked. Meal prep, I pretty much made food every 3 days for the following 3 days, and went as I go, because I was kind of counting my own calories and doing that all on my own. I did follow like If It Fits Your macros, but I pretty much ate clean, whole foods 90% of the time, so that pretty much covers it all. You know, it just got more strict as I got closer.
And you were trying different things out too. You always.
I was always trying new things, and I set certain guidelines and allowed myself room to adjust as I went.
What's your motivation, Matt? You're honestly one of the hardest working kids I've probably ever met. You know, to go through your bodybuilding shows, the powerlifting. You know, I see you in the gym every single day doing what you do. On social media, just working your ass off. What is your motivation, and what keeps you driving, and what are your plans moving forward with that?
So like I said, you know, the progression that I saw myself when I was cutting, when I was doing both shows, you know, the powerlifting show was awesome in its own respect too. I mean, some people are really like doing things by themselves, and they like getting things done on their own. And I kind of took it upon myself to do all these things. And sometimes it just starts clicking. And when you find that line of work that you have to do a certain amount of work to get something done. And when you make it work and you get a routine where you keep doing it, you know, I really can't wait to see where I'm going. You know, I will look up to guys like Lane Norton, you know, genius, PhD. He's doing things that people don't usually do. Natural bodybuilder who took it pretty far. He's a pro, and then powerlifter, winning the USAPL a couple weeks ago, and always progressing and doing it in like the most respectable way. You know, that's kind of where I'm going, and
just accomplishing everything.
Yeah, I've got a lot of things.
Yeah. So moving forward, what are your plans? What do you want?
Personally, right now I'm 20, so I'm gonna take a pretty good off season from doing either competitions. I want to put up my strength and gain some muscle, and really get in a position for when I do cut next time. It'll be for some bigger goals. You know, I want to win the overall for the natural show, qualify.
What were your numbers for your powerlifting competition?
For powerlifting, I was like 80 pounds off a total to qualify for the Arnold competition. So probably when I get back to ever cutting for these shows again, I want to be above that total. So
what was your total?
1165.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it. Matt Liquori, bodybuilding competitor, powerlifting champion. You can track his progress and see what Matt is doing on Twitter and Instagram, both at Liquori, LIQUORI_fit. I will post his links at the bottom of the page. Matt, once again, thank you so much for your time today. Always a pleasure, man. You're a beast. Honestly, one of the hardest working kids I know.
This guy.
You know, you're going a long way, man. And you know, I'm great to have you as a friend and a training partner. And
I appreciate you asking me these questions. You can ask me anytime you're ready.
All right, and you can always shoot him questions as well. So for CrawFit.com, I'm Kyle Crawford, Matt Liquori. Until next time.